Hey, so I finished Magnolia Parks a couple days ago, and I mentioned this before, but I just have so many thoughts about it. So I thought that I would just do a whole rant about it. This will be spoilers, so if you haven't read this book, which I think like everyone in the world has, it seems like, but if you haven't read this book, don't watch this because we will be talking just everything about the book freely. So, because it's a little bit like boring for me to just sit here and talk about the book, like, I mean, I could do that, but I might as well get something else done. I decided that we could do that while painting our nails because then we can have like a fun little time together. So, unfortunately, I can't find my nail filer. I can't find my nail filer, so the shape of my nails looks wild, but it's whatever. These are gonna chip in like 2 days anyway. Let's talk Magnolia Parks. Magnolia Parks, we all know about her. She is the book by Jessa Hastings, who published, I think, indie first and then traditionally published, and now it's quite popular. It has like hundreds of thousands of reviews on Goodreads, which is actually crazy. I know a lot of the books we talk about on Book Talk and like on BookTube have like hundreds of thousands of reviews, but that's actually insane. Like, before Book Talk was a thing, I was very into books and reading, and all I had was Goodreads. Like, BookTube was a thing, but it wasn't like as big as it is now. Like the biggest booktuber had like 50,000 subscribers or something, and books would have like 50,000 reviews. Like, if a book had 50,000 reviews on Goodreads, or 50,000 ratings on Goodreads, like, that was crazy. That was a popular book. Magnolia Parks, it's insanely popular. Now, I don't even know where to begin when it comes to actually talking about my opinion. Okay, so I was very hesitant at first. Let's like go back to my preconceived notions. I was very hesitant at first to even pick up the book. Like, I never thought I would because I'm very wary of anything that people like. I know that sounds horrible, but like I very rarely like the like popular romance-ish books that people tend to talk about. Like, I just know that it's not super for me, but I saw it in Half Price Books and I was like, well, I might as well give it a try. Like, I am curious. Like, I was curious. I've seen so many booktubers that I really respect their opinions, and I've seen them like say like rate it 5 stars, 4 stars, like super high ratings. So I was like, I need to see what the fuss is about. And starting off, like, I kind of got it. I was like, this is very addicting. This is like a British Gossip Girl, basically. Also, I need to start picking out my colors. I like this blue one. I got it recently. I think it's cute. It's like a blue-gray. And then I also always love this for like the fall time, like a nice, cute, like cool tone brown. But it could also be fun to do something like a little, you know, less on the nose when it comes to fall. So I'm gonna pull out just like all colors that intrigue me right now. Okay, so back to Magnolia Parks. I decided to pick it up, and at first I was like, this is definitely intriguing, like a British Gossip Girl, like everything like that. And then about like 200 pages in, I mean, really like right off the bat, I was like, I cannot stand BJ. Like, he to me is the epitome of the like just one-dimensional, like horrific man of a character in these books. And like, just everything he did felt so insincere, where he's like, Magnolia is the only girl I've ever loved, and like, I would do anything to be with her. And then, like, I understand they were not together, but for him to sleep with another girl every single week for 3 years, when the thing that broke them up was him sleeping with someone else while they're together, like, how do you think that's not going to hurt Magnolia? And then it felt like to me that everything she was doing wasn't in like retaliation of him, whereas what he was doing wasn't retaliation with her. She would look at another man and he's like, fuck this, she's horrible, I'm gonna go sleep with this girl. And it's like, what are you doing? He had the most immature responses to everything that it was like literally getting on my nerves horribly. And I was like, maybe this is why people love it. They just love the emotions that it gives them. But just once we got like about 200 pages into it, I was like, I'm kind of tired of this. Like, it felt very redundant. Like, it was just over and over again. And everything, like I said, like everything that Magnolia did, where it was like, she dated, I think, Reed right after they broke up. I don't think that it was to hurt BJ. It was like, man, what do I do? The love of my life just cheated on me. I guess like I'll try to move on. You know what I'm saying? And then with Christian, it was like, yes, that's his best friend, but also like they were friends by themselves. And it wasn't like anyone was trying to hurt BJ. It wasn't like Christian's like, you know, I hate BJ, let me go like date this girl that I know he loves, but also like mess things up with. And it wasn't like Magnolia was plotting like, oh, this will get him back. Whereas BJ, every time he's like, let me go sleep with someone else, he's like, this will get her back. You know what I'm saying? It's just so frustrating. So I was getting very just tired of that about like 200 pages in. And then that's also where I felt like things got super redundant. Whereas like we have seen the same plot line over and over again for the past like 300 pages. Well, I guess like 200 pages. And nothing's changing. It just got like so like overwhelmingly redundant, honestly. Okay, pause. Let's talk about nails for a sec. What are we feeling? So I have these two pink colors. Sometimes I do like a bunch of different colors, but I'm just feeling one color right now. I'm kind of like in my elegant era. Not really. I'm like trying to be. I'm trying to like be more professional working girl, even though I've been in the workforce for 2 years and this is the first time I've had the urge to do that. I don't know. Maybe it's like a quarter life crisis. Probably. I guess I'm old enough for that now. It's crazy. Anyway, so I just want one color. So we have these. I don't feel like this is giving the elegance I want to put off into the world. This is fun, but it takes like a billion coats and I don't want to deal with that. So we have these left. Let's do, I don't want to do this one. I think, do I? She's speaking to me actually. I was lying. I do want to do this one. Okay. So I found the plot itself like very interesting because it keeps you in it. It's like you have to just see what's happening because it's like, what in the world is going on? But can you see that? Hello? Give me my nail polish. Okay, cool. It's like a little magic trick. Okay. It just was getting really, really like I was over it. So that was just so frustrating to me. And then it comes out, remember how like Magnolia's dad had been cheating on her mom with Marceli, I think is how you say it, like how you say her name, like the Scottish lady who was like Magnolia's nanny. And I get where that would like really bother Magnolia. But like the way that she started blaming Marceli for everything of like, I only broke up with BJ and like I'd only been keeping him at arm's length because you told me to and everything like that is so crazy because she's like, all the while you're a hypocrite because you were helping my dad cheat on my mom by like being with him. And it's like, she just said cheaters never change. She knew that firsthand because she knew a cheating man. She was like, it's not going to change. And she was right still. Like, I get where she would be hurt, but like, it didn't make sense to me to blame her for the fact that she and BJ had been apart. Like, BJ's the reason you're apart. Let's get one thing clear. So that I didn't like. And then, I don't know. I hate the whole like rich kid with absent parents trope because like, it doesn't make me feel sympathetic for them. Like, I don't care. I had absent parents and I'm poor. There was just a lot of things, like every trope that happened in the book, I wasn't like a huge fan of. I also, okay, oh gosh. The main beef I have with this book is BJ. him being like, why can't she love me despite the fact that I cheated on her? Like, why, like, shouldn't love overcome that? Is crazy. And then him being like, when they're on that date in Greece, which like was so wild, she's literally dating Tom and is like, will you fly me and BJ to Greece? And like, I get that Tom had his own shit, but you know. Okay, so they're on this date and she's like, this is like our chance, where it's like, you guys literally have a date like every day, like you guys are constantly around each other, it's weird. And then she's like, tell me why you cheated on me, which like is so valid. Like, why are we acting like Magnolia isn't valid for being like, if we're gonna try again, I need to understand what happened to make you hurt me in the first place? Because of course she needs to know why he cheated, who he cheated on her with, and how she knows it's not going to happen again when he's spending every single day fucking London. So we have that going on. And he's just like, because I wanted to. And she is like, I don't believe you. Like, what's the real reason? And you know what really just is insane is that's the whole reason. He just wanted to. He like says later, like, I wasn't even that drunk. Like, I just wanted to. He says, I didn't even think about her except for when I knew I should be thinking about her. What is that? What is that? Like, that's insane. Okay. And then it was her best Paley, is that how you say her name? Paley? Like, I don't know. The fact that he cheated on her with her best friend knows this whole time. It's like, don't tell her, don't tell her, don't. That's not a friend. That's not a friend. And then like her whole friend group knew as well that had happened and just like kept it from her is crazy. And then he's like, this shouldn't change anything because like they just decided to like try again. It's like, why wouldn't it change anything? You got mad when she dated one of your good friends when you guys were completely apart. How would it, like, if he had found out that she like hooked up with Jonah when they were apart, like even if when they were apart, he would like burn the world down. And he hooked up with her version of Jonah when they were together. And it's like, this shouldn't matter. And then he has such like a victim complex of like, she's killing me with like all this dating other guys. And it's like, she is doing her absolute best to not fall apart while you are doing your best to hurt her. It's insane. So I just like couldn't stand that. And like, I can't imagine, like I've heard people say like there's great character growth with BJ. Where was the growth in the first book? There was no growth. We ended up in the same exact spot. I just don't get it. So hopefully, like, I don't know if I'm going to continue with the series yet or not, because I was having a really good time reading it up until the point where I was like, this is just getting so redundant. BJ isn't changing his actions and it's just crazy. So I don't know if I'm going to continue yet because I'm very exasperated by this book. But we have all of that. And then that was like my main problem just with the plot and with the characters. It's just, it was one, redundant, two, BJ is like the worst like character in the world. And I just didn't understand what was going on. But second, I wasn't impressed with the book itself. Like I've heard a lot of people praise Jessa Hastings' writing. I thought it was very mediocre, to be honest. I know that's like not gonna be what people want to hear, but I think that she's been like, her writing has been called very lyrical, but all I really saw was a lot of like one-dimensional metaphors and similes that like didn't really hit for me, or like overly like flowery imagery in a way that just like came off as trying to write like banger lines. Whereas I think one book that does like the banger lines really well, where like I was highlighting in my Kindle like every other page, was Normal People by Sally Rooney. I know that's like so basic to say, but that had some banger lines. And this book came off like it was trying to have banger lines, but just didn't. So that was my opinion. it's totally okay for everyone else to have a different opinion, obviously. But I was unimpressed by that. And then this I don't blame necessarily like the writing for, but I know that the book was indie published and then it got traditionally published. Did no one edit it? Or was it just my copy? Or like were there insane amounts of typos? Like it was so weird. There would be sentences without periods. There would be like words without spaces between them. I was like, what is this? And then the text messages, there's like text messages at the end of like each chapter about, they would sometimes be wrong. Like, did anyone else notice that? Or was that just like, did I get a weird copy? I don't know. But something that I did dislike about the writing in terms of editing is the inconsistencies with the plot. Like, how old are these characters actually? Like, when I looked up like the ages of the characters early on in reading or before reading, everyone said like Magnolia is 22/23. And I was like, oh, I guess they don't say the ages. They do. They say the ages of everyone. They say it multiple times, but they say different ages each time. I swear to God, she went from 22 to 23 to 22 to 23. Tom went from 30 to 31 to whatever. She didn't know Tom's age, even though Tom had said his age a little while ago. BJ was 25, but then he's only a year older than Magnolia. I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going on. It just felt like there were a lot of inconsistencies with just like details, the writing, the plot. It did not make sense to me. So overall, I'm done painting my nails, as you can see. They don't really look that good, but it doesn't matter. Overall, my thoughts on Magnolia Parks. So I feel like it was an entertaining book. I think that it could have been 100 pages shorter than it actually was because we kind of had the same plot line go in circles a bit. And I think that that could be intentional, where it's like you think that it's about to get better and you think that this is going to be the time it works and it doesn't, and like it shows you how these characters have been in that cycle for 3 years. So I get that that's like intentional, but for me it felt like I didn't need to see all that. But it was quite entertaining. I don't know how I feel about like this toxic relationship sort of being glorified, because it is particularly crazy. So I don't know. There are a lot of things about it that I take issue with, but I think I'm at least going to read Daisy Hates and see how that goes. And then I might read the next Magnolia Parks book to see this character growth, this mythical character growth everyone keeps talking about. And maybe if you don't hate my opinions on this right now, like I know that everyone loves this book and I totally wish that I was one of them. But maybe I'll do like a reading vlog for it if you're interested. But thank you for listening to my rant. This was me talking about Magnolia Parks because I don't know anyone who's read it, so I had to say something. And I don't know anyone, like I haven't seen anyone have these opinions, so please let me know if I'm crazy or if you also notice some of these things. And thank you for watching. Bye.